I'm going to go ahead and bring BSec in. First, let me change my camera. If you don't know what's going on, DJ BSec is about to join us on stream and take over Jaw Jacking. Jaw Jacking is a 30-minute segment where we have industry professionals. There he is. Hey, how you doing?
Doing good.
Awesome. So DJ BSec is going to be dropping knowledge bombs on you, answering all your questions. DJ BSec, what do we got for everybody in the next 30 minutes?
We're just going to YOLO this morning. Everybody throw in questions. We had a ton of questions last week, which was great. We don't really have much in the news as it is, so we'll just answer questions and go from there.
All right. You can hear that right now. With DJ BSec, I'll be in the car. I'll drop a couple questions as I tend to do, even though I'm driving. BSec, are you a Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure fan?
Yes, I was way back when.
Yeah, it was kind of like genre, not genre defining, but like there was nothing really like it at the time.
Oh yeah, for sure, 100%. So awesome.
And yeah, I love it. I love it. All right, guys, I'm gonna take out Be Well, BSec. Thanks for doing Jaw Jacking, everybody. I'll see you at 4:30 with Savannah. Why do I keep saying her name like that? I hope I don't say that live on stream.
Savannah the Savant.
Yeah, I know. Savannah Lazar. I'm Jerry. Until next time, stay secure. Thanks, Ben.
All right, everybody. For those that don't know, this is the time that we have come to where everybody, if we take over the show, you guys throw out questions, we'll answer them. So let's go ahead and jump into it and start Jaw Jackin. All right, y'all let me know if music's too loud, if mics isn't loud enough, and y'all go ahead and chunk in your questions and we will start to answer them. Like I said, we do not have that much news. I do have one story, so if we do get slow, I'll throw that story in here and we can look at that. Last week we had a whole bunch of questions, so let's go ahead and throw those questions in and get them answered. I've got about 30 minutes that we can go through and answer questions and before I have to jump into my first meeting for the day. Amy Devine, I just saw this and it's just popped up. Would love to talk about keeping physically and mentally healthy in the field. That is not necessarily a question, but that is a great statement and a great question. And I would even throw this out to everybody that is in chat right now. What do you do to stay physically and mentally healthy and fit in your day-to-day actions? So for me, I've said this before on stream, I usually work for me starts at about 6 to 6:30 Central Time in the morning, and I go until about 6 o'clock at night, maybe sometimes later, depending on what I've got to do, because there are some things that after hours, network stuff and other things. But so my day usually goes about 12 hours, and usually what I do is I break my day up, because if you don't break it up, you're going to get burnt out. Burnout is a real thing. You do hear people in the industry talk about it. In the middle of the day, usually around 11 a.m., 12 p.m., right in the middle of the day, I will go for a walk, and it's usually about an hour-long walk, whether that's throwing on, Jack Resider and Darknet Diaries on a podcast and just walking mellow out, putting on some music, going for a run, doing something along those lines to split up your day, number one, and to get your mind off of everything else and just clear your head. I can't tell you how much it means to go out and clear your head, and basically you're starting from scratch again after you come back, right? For me, it's huge. For being physical, I mean, that is not only just mental, but that's also physical, right? Because you're getting out and walking. A lot of people today, with everybody working from home, everybody wakes up in the morning. Some of us don't even get off our couch, Kimberly. But some of us just stay at home all day long in our room, and work. And then as the day comes at 5, 6, 7 o'clock at night, then we just leave and walk out, and we never actually get out and lift weights, walk, or do anything physical. So you've got to make sure that you keep your body in physical shape and in mental shape to be able to do this job, for sure. All right, let's scroll down. David Atkins is asking, what are your thoughts on stacking certs, Google, Sec Plus? So when we're talking about stacking certs, that list right there is a massive one. So you're talking Google Security, then Security Plus, then CYSA, and then CISSP. For me, looking at that list, that's about a 10-year gap right there, right? Number one, CISSP means that you've been in the industry for you have at least 5 years of experience in the industry, and you have somebody that is going to vouch for you. So yes, you can go take a CISSP test. You will end up getting a CISSP associate. You will not be a full CISSP until you have somebody in the industry that can write the recommendation, that can say, yes, this person passed the test, but they also know what they're talking about and they have done it. Google, Security Plus, CYSA, those are all certifications. For me, when it comes to certifications, depending on if you actually need the certification to have the job, there's no real reason to have the certification unless it's just something that you want to have, number one. It's the information that you're going to gather from the certification. I actually had this conversation with somebody a couple of days ago about networking. They were talking about Network Plus versus CCNA. And when we talk about Network Plus versus CCNA, which one do you get? And for me, I say you go get CCNA. Yes, CCNA is vendor based. It's based for Cisco, and Net Plus is vendor agnostic, right? But Net Plus is extremely basic. They give you everything across the board, and there isn't any hands-on training or hands-on troubleshooting. With CCNA, you will learn everything that's on Net Plus, number one. But number two, to actually pass the test, you actually have to have your hands on the keyboard with networking and be able to troubleshoot and configure those switches. So yes, if somebody walked in, if I had two people walk into me and say, "Hey, I want to be your junior network administrator," and one of them had Net Plus and the other one had CCNA, CCNA to me covers more because they've had that hands-on, if that makes sense. So when we fall back to what you're asking here, David, getting the information and understanding what it is, like with the Google, the Sec Plus, that's all fine and that's all theory. It's a matter of can you actually use it? Can you actually do it in the job, right? You can read a book, everybody can read a book, and everybody can turn around and go, this is what this is. Can you actually do the job? So stacking certs to me is nothing. At that point, if you walk in with a resume and you have 50,000 certs on your resume, to me, you know what that means? That somebody's just sitting over there doing certifications, or that they're probably just paying somebody to have a certification with their name on it. That's just my opinion. You're saying my mic volume's a little low, or is the music too high? George Strasburger. Let me pull this up and I will show you. So George is asking what my channel is. So my music channel, the stuff that I do a lot of things on, is on Twitch, and it is that's not Twitch, is it? There's my Twitter. And grab this. I will throw this into chat. So I'm on Twitch. The reason I'm on Twitch is because on Twitch you can actually play music. You don't get they don't kick you off like they will on YouTube. YouTube is very DMCA or DCMA compliant. Twitch actually has spoken with a lot of the music bigwigs. I think the only one they don't have, they may have it now, was Sony. So they allow you to actually play music without kicking you off. So yeah, you can go check that out. Every now and again I do, I think last weekend it was, I do a music stream. We have fun on there. I jump around, act stupid, do stupid things. Let's see. There's a quick little, you can kind of see what it is that we're doing in here. We got different types of things going on, music. So I think that was a Christmas time. What do we got next? Tim McDonald, thoughts about ZTNA versus VPN. Let's see if I can find this so I can put it up. Do I have one? Tim McDonald's asking what are the thoughts about zero trust network versus VPN. To me, that all just depends on. Hey, I'm not able to scroll and see what's going on in here. To me, that just depends on company. Like, what is it that you're trying to accomplish? What do you want to do? Zero trust networking is, that's the big buzzword now, the big one. VPN's been around forever. It just depends on how you and the company feel about going, and how people are going to access stuff, right? A lot of people, like I said before, a lot of people are at the work from home state, so they may have to have a VPN. And on VPN, you can do quote unquote zero trust networking within some of these next gen firewalls. You can set it up to where they can only access specific things. You're only trusting specific devices to connect to your VPN. So there's a lot to it. Both to me, technologies work and are good. Let's see, we got George in here. David Robinson's, please explain on the fitness topic while sitting in a chair all day. So David Robbins, that's what I was getting at. Don't sit in a chair all day. You have to break it up. If you were at work, and I'm assuming you're saying this from working at home all day long. If you were at work, you would not sit in your office all day long. You would have people walk in your office and talk to you. You would get up and go to the water fountain. You would go take a bio break. You would get up and move around. When we're at home, we get very it's easy to sit in your room and just knock stuff out all day long, mess around on the computer, do your work. You have to break that up. You've got to get up and move. So for me, like I said, my day usually starts around 6:30-ish. And by 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock, to me, I shut it down. Shutting it down means I get up, I leave this room, and I go for a walk. And hopefully it's not raining or any of that stuff. Or if it is, I go get on a treadmill. But I go for a walk, and not only does it break up the day, so the day doesn't seem like it's extremely long, but it allows you to get physical. You're able to have physical activity. And then because you're not sitting in front of the computer and you're not hammering stuff out or looking up stuff and researching, it gives you that mental break as well. That's what I meant by getting up. Don't sit in the chair all day long. Get your butt out of the chair. What do we have here? Yeah, Dave Robinson Space Tacos question. What's something that you were able to learn rather easily? What's something that was the most difficult for you to learn? All right. That question is probably the exact same answer, honestly. So one of the things, if anybody has dealt with networking before, you understand that subnetting always messes with everybody. For me, I learned subnetting pretty quickly, but it was very hard. It was, once you understand it, it just clicked. I see a lot of people that have a lot of trouble with subnetting. And those are most of the questions that I get of, how do I understand, what subnetting do I need to do? How do I understand it? There are so many different tools and techniques to do it. For me, it was, when I first started off, I was like, what in the world is this? This doesn't make any sense. I need to have a /29, a /28. Why is everybody in the world always says just 24? Just use 24. Why would anybody use something more than 24 or something less? So that actually, once I understood that and learned that, it went real easy. It was real easy, but it was one of those things where at first I was like, you didn't even want to do it because there's so many bits and bytes and zeros and ones and things turned off and on that it was very daunting to start off with. But then, you know, after a week or so, it was nothing. But that is always a big question, and that's one of the biggest things in networking. Josh, how can I give tips to my peers to get into the door? I get asked this all the time. So that's from Jamal. Let me see if where I'm at. Just trying to find out so I can put this on screen. Yeah, Phil, here you go. Subnetting is not. I will say this: subnetting and learning subnetting is for tests for the most part. When you're out in the real world and you're building a network, you're gonna pretty much know how much that network needs to scale or not scale, and there are tools out there to get you the subnets real quick. So, how can I give tips to my peers? Just give them the same advice that you would look for, right? So, for me, if somebody comes to me and says, well, you know, how am I going to break into cyber? How do I get into networking? Well, number one, you have to understand the basics. A lot of people, and you hear everybody in the industry talk about this all the time. You'll have somebody come to you and say, I've been working on XYZ. How do I get into cyber? That's great that you've done your Sec Plus. That's great that you've done your Net Plus. But you have zero experience and you've never worked on a help desk. You don't understand what's going on. But you have all these certifications. And you think that the certifications, because you have the piece of paper and you can put it on your resume, that you should be able to walk in, hand them your resume and say, see, I have these certifications, and that they're going to hire you on the spot because of that. That is not the case. And you know, I don't want to break anybody's hearts, but that's not the case when it comes to this. If I have, I'll give you an example. If I have a person that comes to me, they have their A plus, their Net plus, their Sec plus, but they've never worked on a help desk. They've actually never been in an environment. And then have a person over here that's been on help desk for the last 2 years. So they've done 2 years of troubleshooting, working with individuals. They've done troubleshooting of connectivity of laptops and desktops to the network. They've done troubleshooting of somebody downloading malware or spyware on their machine, and they've learned how to clean it. That person, to me, understands more to get a job done than somebody with just the certification, right? Because to me, those two people combined are going to be your ideal person, right? The person that's got 2 years on the help desk, person that's got their certifications, they've gone and learned everything. But if you're separate and you have experience versus textbook, as a practitioner, you're sitting across from those two people, you can start if you start asking questions to the person with just the certifications, they're not going to be able to answer your questions for the most part. The ones that do the work will be able to answer and understand what it is. I think that's where we fall short, is that we go out and we get our certifications and you understand the theory, but you don't actually understand the impact of what happens when you're actually on the floor or on in the realm of what's going on. I hope I didn't break everybody's heart with that. All right, who was that from? That was Jamal. Cyber Eddie, how important are presentation skills for cybersecurity industry? Cyber Eddie, that's a great question. It honestly depends on what you're going to be doing. If you're an auditor that's coming in and going to be giving the presentation at the end of the audit or the end of the assessment, presentation skills are grand, right? You have to be able to convey to the executives or to whomever it is that you're going to be speaking to of what the assessment showed. So you'll have to have some type of presentation. If you are the red team or the pen tester that's doing it, you don't need presentation because you're going to just put stuff together and hand it over to the person that's going to go give a presentation. If you are a blue teamer that's sitting in the background, checking out phishing messages or running some threat hunting to find out, what malware was on here or did something get infected over there, you don't necessarily need a presentation. You might have to have like an incident report that you're going to put together. Mainly those incident reports are just going to be for the help desk and for y'all to be able to go back and look at. When it comes to presentations, you're looking at mid-manager, management level, upper management level that are going to be giving presentations for like CapEx or OpEx projects that are going to be coming in. So, for instance, hey, as a company, we've got 10-year-old firewalls. We need to replace those. Then you're going to go give a presentation or you're going to give a write-up and explain why it is that you should be replacing those. Well, they're 10 years old. They're out of date. They're out of, our maintenance window's over with them. We need to move over to these new ones because now we have maintenance windows. Now they're up to date. We get the latest and greatest, all of those type of things. So presentation just depends on what the job is. Basic, let's see. How do you get the experience? Even the help desk roles want you to have 2 years experience. Carrie's asking the question, how do you get experience if help desk is wanting 2 years? Carrie, if help desk is asking for you to have 2 years, they must be asking for a specific role in help desk. They're not asking for an entry level position if it's 2 years. Most entry level positions and help desk positions will not require 2 years, 1 year. Most of those positions are giving, if you're new to the help desk, you usually have a script that you're going to follow. You're going to come in on an interview for a help desk. They're usually going to ask you a couple of very easy questions to make sure that you understand how to troubleshoot. But if they're asking and saying that you have to have 2 years for help desk, 2 years for a help desk, that doesn't make sense. Maybe you have 2 years experience to go into a SOC or to go into something in cyber, but for just your average daily help desk, they shouldn't be asking for 2 years. Great questions. We got a lot this morning. So Jamal is saying, let me take this one and I'll go back to Jamal. So Taekwon Gong is saying, what type of help desk are you referencing? Because all help desks are not the same. That is correct. All help desks are not the same. Some help desks are specific to a specific technology. So in my experience, I started off at a company that all we did was help desk. I started off on a help desk that it was for satellite dishes, right? So when it came to troubleshooting, I was getting users calling in. This was 20 years ago, 25 years ago, users calling in. I think it was for Hughes Network and Hughes TV. So I was getting users calling in, telling me that their satellite dish didn't work, right? I can't get a picture. I can't get this. I can't get that. I'll give you all a funny story. This is where understanding how to troubleshoot something comes in to help desk. And it doesn't matter what help desk you're on. If you have the capability and the ability to troubleshoot line by line and think about things in this sense, this is how you get into help desk and how you kind of progress in IT. I had a user call me one time and they said they couldn't get they couldn't get a picture. There was no picture on their TV. It wasn't working. So I'm walking through all these different things, right? Is your azimuth set up right? Is this blah, blah, blah? And the guy told me, yeah, nothing's changed. And I said, well, do this for me. Go outside and let's see if there's anything blocking it. And he said, well, I can't go outside right now. So red light goes off. Like, why can't you go outside? Well, it's 15 below zero. It's 15. Well, where are you at? And he was up north. So it's 15 below zero. But yeah, and we just had an ice storm. So there's ice all over the dish, and it was reflecting the signal. So, I mean, right there, troubleshooting. Okay, sir, well, there's nothing I can do for you. You're going to have to wait till the ice melts off, and then you're going to be able to get signal. So, troubleshooting when it comes to help desk, and like you said, Taekwondo, every help desk is different. You're not going to be on a help desk, leave that help desk, go to another one. It's going to be the same thing. There are knowledge bases within help desks that help you go through the troubleshooting in each one. So, yeah. So Jamal asked, how can I get more of my peers who are interested in cyber in the door? Jamal, I mean, unless you have a job where you can hire them, I don't know how you're going to get people in the door. You're going to have, I mean, if you are in a position to hire people, then that's how you can get people in the door. I don't know how you are going to go tell somebody to hire your friends. Level Up Goddess, if we don't get jobs where we are, if we don't get jobs where we are gonna, if we don't get jobs, where are we going to get experience? Tech is only field that does that, which is ridiculous. They even want us to have experience when you apply to help desk job and internship. So Level Up Goddess, let me see if I can, where's Level Up Goddess? I want to put this on. I want this on the screen because let's talk about this. Take me a second. Let me find it because this is a great question. This is a great topic to talk about. Here we go. Found it. All right. So if you can't get a job, how are you going to get the experience? That is the $64,000 question that they always ask, right? And everybody screams at it. How am I supposed to get experience if I can't get a job? There are hundreds of thousands of ways to get experience. You can create labs, you can do labs. And I know everybody out there is going, well, that's doing it on my own time and I don't get paid for that. What I want is my experience in the door, my foot's in the door and I'm working. That's how I get experience. You get experience by doing it. I did not get experience through networking by walking into the network or walking into a company and going, give me access to all your switches. I need to learn how to do this. I went out, I used Packet Tracer from Cisco to learn and understand how things worked. Number one, that got me the experience. Now I understand how something goes from one switch to another, and I understand the traversing across the network. Number two, how do you move farther on, right? I understood that, GNS3 is even more. So I moved to GNS3, got more experience. Now I understand how to configure a router. Now I understand how to configure a switch. There are ways to get experience other than just being in the door at a place. Then when you walk in, right, and yes, you have no years of experience, you can turn around and go, yes, I have not been on a help desk yet. This is going to be my first job. I'm really excited to do this. For the last 6 months, I've been working on GNS3. This is what I've done here. And the interviewer will ask you about the stuff that you've been doing. And if you can give them the correct answers on the things that you've done, the projects that you've done, the labs that you've done, that shows you have the experience. When I'm talking about experience, I'm not talking about experience that, oh yes, I worked for a company and I'm on a help desk. I'm talking about physical experience and you being able to prove that you know what's going on. Not just that, hey, I read a book about this and now I passed the certification. That's great you read a book. That's great that you passed the certification. That's great you know the information. How are you going to apply it? This is how I applied it. I went out there and I created labs. I did this. Hey, here's my GitHub. You can go check out my GitHub and see all the PowerShell or all the Python that I wrote to be able to make this lab work. That gives you and shows you how to, that will show them that you understand and have that experience. That goes a long way. Next one, RabSec. Are there any private methods to bypass censorship? UDP block. I think somebody asked this question before. We're not going to go into bypassing That's not what we're about over here. I'm not going to start telling you how to bypass different things, especially censorship. There are ways out there to do things like that. All right, we got about 3 minutes left. Any more questions? Great questions out there. I see one from Carrie. What does this one say? It says, "How do you get the experience even if it does?" Oh, we think I just answered that. So we have anybody else in here? What do we got going? Let's see, SP walkthrough. I'm just kind of reading through all this. It looks like Joel Harrison agrees with me 100% on something. I don't know what. I've said a lot. Oh, Valentino, I'm not trying to break hearts. What I'm trying to do is explain to you how things are going. I don't want everybody to be walking in and thinking, oh, I got all these certifications and that's just going to get me in the door. You've got to understand, just because you have the piece of paper doesn't necessarily 100% mean you understand how to use it. That's why I say labs and getting your feet wet through doing labs and through doing some of the work, creating that stuff and proving to people that you do have the experience. You don't necessarily, like I said, you don't have to work for somebody to have experience. You can build your own home labs. You can do all that stuff to prove that you understand how everything works. Like Phil saying he owned a business. Let me tell you, there's a lot learned the hard way when you're out in the field. That 100%, I agree with that. All right, we're coming to the end, and let's look at this one. Tracy's asking, can you speak about those who are pivoting into cyber and getting certs? So, depending on what you're pivoting in from, Jerry has I think 100,000 million videos of pivoting into cyber on his site. So you guys can go check that out and see what if you're pivoting from one of those specific ones. Jerry will walk you through on pivoting. When it comes to pivoting from cyber, number one, and you're getting certifications, I 100% am down with that. If you're pivoting from one place to another, a lot of the times, let's look at it this way. When you're pivoting from one role to another role, right? So say you're going from executive to say you're going from sales into IT, right? Do those overlap in any way? There are some overlappings. There are some things. Technical, no. So use what you have on the sales side into the IT side, number one. When we get into pivoting into cyber and getting the certifications falls back on showing that you understand the theory and know what's going on with it. That's where I would go. Hold on just a second. Okay. Pivoting into cyber. Sorry, I got distracted by somebody sending me over a message. Pivoting into cyber from another position, 100% get the certification, get something, because that gets your mind, you get your mind into the right set, right? Because now you're over here and you were talking about being in sales and understanding all the sales. Now you got to get into that cyber mind. How do you understand what's going on in the cyber? So if you go take a test or you go get a certification, you start moving your mindset into that. Oh, now I'm thinking about GRC. I'm thinking about policies. How am I going to block things? How am I going to do stuff? It's a whole different mindset than what you were in. So yes, pivoting into cyber, getting certifications allows for a smoother transition, I would say. But yeah, for 100% go for certifications when it comes to pivoting over into cyber. All right, we are 2 minutes past 8:30. I loved all the questions. I'm sure there's some I've missed. If you put a question in here and I didn't get to it because I do have to run to a meeting, throw it up on Discord, tag me on Discord, and I will reach out to you and answer your question, or somebody on Discord we'll get it answered. We'll get it answered today. let's see. For now, let me go through this. Don't forget, today at 4:30, Jerry has a fireside chat with, what did he say? Savannah. He's got a fireside chat with Savannah from the Red Team Village at 4:30 Eastern on the channel. And then tonight we've got Jesse J and Security Plus going through your Security Plus certification. So if you're working on that certification, or if you are new to cyber, if you're new to this channel, go over and check out Jesse on Security Plus and get that mindset right for cybersecurity. All right, that's going to do it for me today. I hope everybody has a great rest of the day, and we will see everybody back here tomorrow for the daily cyber brief. Till then, see you guys.
I hope you enjoyed the Jaw Jacking. Be sure to check out the Simply Cyber Daily Cyber Threat Briefing happening every single weekday morning from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., where you can get the top cybersecurity news stories of the day, network with other professionals, and then stay for the Jaw Jacking just like you saw. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. See you in the next one.